Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Work in Progress Wednesday, I've got a bunch of head scans that I'm going to paint in preparation for a bunch of customs. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today I've got a bunch of head scans that I'm going to get painted up. I don't have, quite everyone here ready to do as far as putting a whole custom together. The figure I would like to complete today would be the Chris Sabin head scan, so the one on the far right. I'm going to paint up that whole thing, kind of take you through that whole process. So I have had people ask, to record my whole, to record the middle part that we don't see. So from the time that I say this is what we're doing until I come back with my completed figure, I am going to do that. The trade-off is probably going to be that I just don't have as many figures that I get done, maybe like in a video, but nonetheless, still going to go through, still going to have episodes. We're always going to have stuff to paint up. So today I'm going to paint a bunch of head scans. So I have, let's see, I've got ECW Raven, I've got Steve Carino, Sandman, Sparkplug Bob Holly, the Headbangers, Chris Sabin that I already mentioned, Ken Shamrock. I've got the Ming figure, and I did, so when I unboxed that Ming head, Ming, I don't know, I don't remember the exact pronunciation. You can see it behind that Headbanger figure there. It's like a Jack's head scan. It just doesn't have the hair on it, so I'm going to take the hair from an extra Jazzwares Ortiz figure and put that on there, and I think that'll work pretty well. I've got Tony Mamaluke, I've got a Chris Jericho head scan, Bret Hart, and then I've got two Bret Hart head scans. One has sunglasses molded on, the other one just has plain, just as plain head. So I'm going to paint all of those up. Some of them are going to be the pale skin tone, some are going to be the tan skin tone. So when I do paint skin tones, I like to just, so I don't have like a certain paint that I use. I mix a few paints together, and then I haven't quite figured out the recipe to not make a lot of one skin tone. So when I do, I like to just do a bunch of head scans at once. So that is what is going to be done today. I'm going to paint all these up. At the very least, we're going to put the skin tone on them. We'll see. I might paint might paint the eyes on. It just kind of depends. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it. Sometimes eyes take a lot of effort and just like precision, and sometimes I just don't have that patience. Plus, I got a lot of heads here, so we'll see. Maybe what I'll probably do, most likely do, is paint up the Chris Sabin head completely, get that finished, and then I want to put the Ming head together as well. So I'll probably paint up that whole one. I want to get that hair on, see how it looks. But at the very, very minimum, I'm going to get the skin tone painted on these. So we'll take a break from here, head over to the work in progress desk, and paint some skin tones. Alright, here we go. So I've got my Daniel Bryan here, and I'm going to at least, so the plan here is to just use this for the Chris Sabin almost entirely. I'm going to swap off these boots here. I do have some black knee pads over here I'm going to be using. I've got some black boots that I did originally Dremel out. I don't know if you can see very well. So I used these originally for one of my Karrion Kross figures, which actually, now that I'm looking at this, I can't use these. These are both right boots, so we'll have to find a left boot for him, but these are the decals I'm using for Chris Sabin. They're just normal, they're Curb Stomp City decals. I get a lot of decals from him, as well as the decal library from 3XR. So with these, you have to, I think these are printed on, okay, it says they are printed on white paper. So we might have to do some extra work with these. Let me see. Decal, laser, white. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to get pretty close to the actual decal to cut these, so I was thinking that it was yellow. I'm unsure. I guess we're just going to do some cutting and see what we have to do, but these are the decals. When you order from Curb Stomp, you get 2 sets of everything in case you mess it up, which I did a lot when I first started, so let me get all my stuff out. I'll show you guys like real quick what I do with everything, and then I'll finally get started. Okay, so I'm ready to paint now. I've got my paint mixed here. Nothing special. I'll go over that. I do plan to go over it in like a full episode about actual paint mixes, because I mix a few things together to kind of get what I want for skin tones. I did look at the decals a little bit, so these ones that I showed you, these are on clear paper. So these are black. There we go. They will go on, so the white that you see on them is clear. So when I cut these out, it doesn't have to be perfect. I will have to paint the trunks on the Daniel Bryan figure yellow, and then these will just lay over it to give me the yellow and black. And then these kick pads, I will have to be more precise. I'll have to cut right on the gray line, but that'll be pretty easy. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'll show you just like how I start, and like it's nothing crazy. I've got my paint mixed here. We got Sandman. So I just go through a few at a time. And I know some people will like paint white on first, or like sometimes people will some people will prime their head scans. I don't put primer on mine. I will put primer on tights every now and then. Well, it's not showing up. There we go. It's hard to tell on this one because it's white. So I'll just put that one to the side of here. Let's grab one of these headbanger figures, or heads. Okay, you see there, we've got the gray. We start painting some skin tone. A few layers of this, not going to be gray. So I'm not going to keep the camera on this whole time. I'm going to waste battery, and honestly, you're really not missing much. I'm painting flat skin tone all the way. I'm getting everything. And then I will go in and do the details afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will not bore you with literal paint drying. And when I get back, we'll have some skin tone, at least a few layers on. I'm not going to paint the eyes or anything, at least for now. And then we're going to go ahead. We'll get started on that Chris Sabin custom as well. Be right back. Alright, so I am one layer in on all of the head scans. So you can see here, we've got our headbanger. We'll just say this is Mosh. I can't remember. I'll look up which is which, or how to even tell them apart. But you can see, you can still see like the gray coming through, but we've got one layer of skin tone on there. So I'm probably gonna go over like three more times. I like to just put on enough so that it's not like you don't see any of the gray, like you can't see any of the paint marks really, and then maybe do like one more. You don't want to like glob it on, but you also like you want it to be evenly across the whole head. So I'm gonna finish that up. Gonna do a few more layers, and then when I come back, next time I come back, I'm gonna have all these layers done, and then in the meantime, I'm gonna get started on the Chris Sabin. So I'm going to off screen, I'm going to pop off the boots, go put on the black boots, pop off this head, and get the black knee pads on. But then I'll start painting the yellow on the tights. So yeah, got a few things to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and when we get back, I will have those heads done. And honestly, I will probably have this whole like Sabin put together, other than the decals. So here we go. So real quick, I did just want to pop in. I let things dry overnight, so the heads are essentially done with the skin tone. You can see like they look pretty like they look like chalky, um, and they look kind of pale. But after I spray them, after I seal them, they look the um, color of the torso. Like they look a lot. They look much better. So I seal them with Rust-Oleum matte clear enamel. It's just what I've always used. There's others, but that's what I've had the most success with, or just that's what I like the most. So we've got all the pale heads done over here, and then the um, like tannish red skin tone we've got to do for these, and then I've got to do the Ming head over here. So um, I think that's going to be perfect. I just need to like sand the inside of this hair down a little bit so that it just sits back in there a little better, and then I'm not going to glue it on until we get the head all painted and sealed and everything. But what I'm going to do is just seal all the heads over here. I'll seal everything. But then I think I'm only going to paint the eyes onto the Sabin for now, and then maybe a Raven. The other ones I'm just going to put like on my to do file, I guess. So, yep, quick update. Sabin's got some yellow on him. I'm about to cut out the decals, but I'm going to seal these heads, and then not too much longer left before we are out of here. Cool. Alright, I'm about to do the finishing touches on this head. This has been sealed. You can see, so when I put the head is not, doesn't have tack on it. It's not quite ready, but you can see it matches better now that it has been sealed. So I'm about to paint the eyes, and I'm going to kind of try and show you guys how I do the eyes. I just use white, and what I use to do the eyes is this sculpting tool. You can see like the end of it doesn't even pick up because it's so so this is for sculpting. It's very thin. I use the tip of it, just put a little bit of white on, and then do the eyes. I would trying to show you guys, but at the same time it is really hard to like nail this white. I think I talked about when I started that like some people will paint the white over the eyes first, which is, I mean, honestly, that's a good idea. I don't like to do that just because I don't like to have to like paint around eyes when I'm doing the skin tone, but honestly, it's probably the better choice to go with. So you can see here. One eye down. And eye number 2. Oh, that looks terrible. There we go. Eye number 2 is done. So, next up, we got to paint the hair. Hair's real simple. Just going to use some brown, paint the hair, and then I'll have to look up the eye color for Chris Sabin, put some pupils on him, and for the and then we got to do the decals. So, decals are all cut out. Grab, you can see, cut the boot like this. So that's the right boot. And then this is the left boot. And then we have the tight decal, which I gotta find that. I don't remember where I put it. But I'm gonna put this brown on. Where'd it go? There we go. I have a few different colored browns that I use, and I just kind of pick and choose. I don't have like a specific one that I use for hair colors, but I'll go over it a couple times. Sometimes I'll do like a wash in people's hair, but I think this is a heteration scan, not positive. So that's the color brown we're going with. I'll do a couple layers of that. I'll come back with some pupils drawn on this guy, and then we will finish with decals, and we will be out of here for this Work in Progress Wednesday. I have no idea how long this is going to be. Like I said, I want to try and show more of what I'm actually doing, and this is the first time like kind of going through the process with everyone, like showing you guys what I do. So I'm kind of just shooting video here and there, trying to catch like the important steps I go through. Um, but who knows? I might skip some stuff, might talk a little bit too much, but honestly, just let me know. I'm just uh, trying to be as informative I can while still making some cool customs for you guys to see. So we will cut away for a second. I'll come back with a much more finished looking Chris Sabin. Alright, so I'm going to wrap things up here. Chris Sabin with the head. And then we'll do decals just real quick. Those typically don't take long to actually apply them. So we've got the eyebrows. We've got the hair done. Going to use a dark gray for his pupils. So I'm just going to put a dab on some paper towel. And then you want to make sure that you do not put these off center. So you want to make sure you put them like right in the middle of the eye, or else you're going to have someone looking two different directions. So I'm just going to, whoops. So I just take a dab, try and put it right in the middle. So there's one pupil. Now I need one more. And there it is. We've got both our pupils and then, or the iris, excuse me. We've got the iris of the eye. That is the color. And then I will either use, sometimes I'll just use black paint. Sometimes I will use a Gundam pen, just a black pen, and just dot that in there. But I'm gonna leave the head alone for now. I'm gonna get the decals on here. So with my decals, I will put the decal in water. Then I will let it slide off the back. I put micro set, so I put this on here on the surface to kind of help it stick a little bit. Once that's on, I will use like a sponge or paper towel to pat it down a little bit, and then I put softener on it. And then after I put the softener on, I will like kind of press it down a little more, and then I have started using a hair dryer just for a few seconds, kind of like heat up that decal, get it on nice and smooth, and then go over, seal everything when I get all done. So that's a long process. I want to figure out a better way to like shoot that so that my hands aren't just in the way and you can see. So just gonna kind of like I walk through the steps. I'll show you the end result, but then I will eventually get a video up like detailing exactly, showing exactly how I do these decals. So 1 second. Alright, there we have it. We have finally made it to the end of today's Work in Progress Wednesday, and like I said, this is the kind of the first go around, going through things more step by step with you guys to show you how we do it. And then obviously here we've got our Chris Sabin. So I did save the final product for everything. Only thing I think I'm going to go back and do is make the hair a little bit darker, or maybe like put a dark wash in it to kind of highlight the texture in the hair. I think it's a hederation scan. The hair already is oh, you can see I have not put like a sculpting clay or tack in it yet. I don't know if it'll pick up there. So you can see it is pretty well textured, so like it sticks out, but sometimes you put some dark wash in there in like the roots of the hair. It really makes it pop, but overall, another fun custom to do. I don't have a lot of older TNA figures, but I do want to add some. So like Elix Skipper is a guy who I want to add to the collection. Obviously, like the big names, AJ Styles, Beer Money Inc., Austin Aries, like that late 2000s. I think around there, like late 2000s TNA, when they were they were never competing with WWE, but they had a lot of homegrown guys that that meant a lot at that point. You can see at Chris Sabin's feet, we've got all our painted up head scans. I decided I didn't paint any eyes on them. I did, like, everything is sealed, everything is ready to go. So when I do get around to those customs, just gotta like finish them up. Just paint the heads or paint the eyes, paint the hair. In the case of the headbangers, I gotta decide what like face paint I'll do on them. But um, simple, relatively simple jobs, just painting up the skin tone, sealing them. The Ming head scan turned out awesome. I'd never mixed up that like Samoan skin tone, and I haven't sealed it yet, so it is a little glossy. But you can see here, if it zooms in, that it looks awesome. I did go in, the tongue is painted, the teeth are painted in there. They even have his teeth like on the roof of his mouth. I don't know if you can see that very well, but the hair is going to fit perfectly. It does like fit kind of weird on the bottom here because like his head sticks out, but I haven't decided what body. I think I'm going to put him on a rock torso. Oh, come on. There we go. But overall, I think it looks perfect for Ming. And he was not a guy who I thought I would make. I always wanted a Haku or a Ming, but we never like. I don't know. I kind of thought we would get one in our Mattel collections, but that it hasn't happened yet. So that'll be a cool figure to get to eventually. I kind of have some ideas for the formula, but some of these head scans just kind of fell into my lap, so I um, don't quite have an idea what I'm going to do with them yet, but that's all right. Uh, I lost what I was going to say. Anyway, that's everything. Again, if you stuck with me through this whole video, I appreciate it a lot. It was kind of a test run to see um, how things went, but let me know what you like, don't like, what do you want to see. Um, I do plan to do like some more kind of tutorial videos on how I do things, because that was one thing that I kind of missed when I started making customs. And if I can go from where I was when I started to making relatively good, I'll say relatively good. I'm not going to get too high on myself. I think I make decent enough customs, but if I can go from where I was to where I am now, then I think just about anyone can. So please like, share, subscribe. Go check out some more work in progress videos. We got a full playlist. We got all kinds of stuff on the channel. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy figures. Figure Dude out.